Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Asset Ambitions podcast. I am your host, Mathieu Jacques. Today, I'm joined by a very special guest. His name is Francis Brière. He is the mayor of the city of the Nation, the municipality of the Nation, here in the Prescott-Russell, Eastern Ontario region. We want to hear from our representatives here in the area, and this is what you're going to get. So we'll start with the first half hour here with English questions, and then the rest of the episodes we'll switch to French to please everyone in the population, and it's going to be the exact same questions. So just 30 minutes of your time. It's going to be great, pertinent information, very condensed questions. So watch the episode. Thank you very much, Francis, for coming on.
Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here.
This is amazing. So let's jump right into it.
Sure.
If you can give us a bit of an idea, what inspired you to run as mayor and lead the municipality?
Well, actually, it kind of started when I was quite young. My parents had a confectionery store and a chip stand in a small town not far from where we are now called Chrysler. And I grew up in the public, and I just saw the value of getting involved and giving your time and trying to give back. So that's something that I kind of grew up with, those values, and my parents really instilled that in me. And then as I grew up with my three boys and everybody playing hockey, I was a hockey coach. I'm going on 20 years now that I've been coaching hockey. And it's just whenever you see the impact that you can have I started as counselor and now as mayor, the impact that you have on communities is a positive one. So luckily my wife and I, like I said, my wife gave me permission to do it because she takes on a lot at home. Whenever I'm away, she does the bulk of the what happens in the house. So it's a joint decision, and basically I got involved. And once I did get involved, I fell in love. I fell in love with it. Just the relationships that you forge while doing it, and the people you meet. And the staff at the Nation Municipality, they're just wonderful to work with. And then this is my third council. Other councillors, and at the time the mayor, and now as mayor and working with councillors, it's like I said, you forge lasting relationships, and I'll say that's one thing that does keep me going for sure.
It must be such a meaningful career for sure. Exactly.
Oh, absolutely. And
yeah.
I'm also a school teacher, so
Okay.
I teach full time as well. And so whenever you can pass that on to your students as well, and they actually see civic duty in the flesh, and we talk about it a lot at school, and I've taught civics career courses, and so it's impactful on them as well, because they kind of politics for young kids, high school students, it seems like they keep an arm's length to it, but whenever they see me in school and talk about it, and,
Yeah. I guess they're a little bit more exposed to it, and
you got it.
it's in the formative years, right? That's where you kind of start making your ideas. Like when you get to university, then you make like your more concrete ideas.
Right.
But I guess you're able to plant kind of a seed there.
Absolutely. And again, it's conversations that you kind of like they'll say a lot of times the kids will come, oh, my parents are saying that, there's an issue in town, and and then I speak to them and I talk to them and I give them perspective of maybe both sides of the issue or whatever it may be, and it leads to interesting conversations. And like I said, it's been very rewarding for me. I mean, it's there's highs and lows in this career,
For sure.
quite honestly, but the highs really outweigh the lows because. Like I said, I continue to choose to do this. The elections are coming up in October, and I'm put my name in again. So, like I said, I consider myself quite lucky to be able to be in this position to have such an impact on students, on residents, and so. Like I said, I'm still motivated. I still feel like I've got a lot to give, so that's why we keep going.
There we go. Glad to hear. Glad to hear. So from there, I guess you ran through it a little bit, but can you walk us through an average day as mayor?
So I'll say a typical day for me is there's nothing typical, quite honestly, because there's different things that come your way. So you gotta learn to be able to just be very flexible to certain things that do happen, because I always say I'm in the people business, so people come up to you and they approach you with issues, and you have to be you try to be as flexible and as forthcoming with residents, and you want to try to make it because their issue that they come up to you with is very important to them, and so you want to make sure that you're listening and that you react to whatever is being said as quick as possible. So am I a typical day? I don't know if I have any typical days, but I'll say a lot of my days are spent talking to either municipal staff about an issue, talking to developers, stopping by, seeing businesses, how they're doing, if there's anything the municipality can do to help.
Must be for sure a lot of communication.
There is.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, we'll get into it a little further on, but the Nation Municipality is a big one. Like, it's not just in population, but I'm just saying, like, the area.
Yeah,
that
geographically. Let's dive into it right now. It'd be nice if if the viewer is not from the area, if we can explain a little bit what the Nation Municipality.
So let me give you like as far as you can leave Saint Albert, which is in my municipality, and you can drive almost right up to Vankleek Hill, which is almost an hour away, and you're in the same municipality the whole time.
Yes.
So we have over 550 roads, kilometers of roads. So to give people perspective, you could be driving from here to Toronto, and you'd be using a Nation Municipality road the whole time. So we have it's a large municipality with lots of roads.
That's it.
And again, like people don't think about it, but we have 3 rivers that go through our municipality. So that creates for us to have lots of culverts, bridges, structures, like a lot of infrastructure that we have to upkeep and maintain. As far as, and again, we'll get into it a little further on there, but that's our biggest challenge right now is the road infrastructure.
Sure.
Because again, low density population with lots of roads, it's very costly.
That's it. Yeah, for sure. And you got many small towns.
We do.
Municipality,
yeah.
Which is, I find very interesting, and that's east of Ottawa. There's a lot of French-speaking population as well.
Absolutely.
And east of Ottawa, about 30 minutes or so. If you talk about Castleman, for example.
So Castleman is a municipality of its own, but like I'll say from coming from Ottawa, the first town you'll hit that would be in the Nation Municipality is Limoges.
Yeah.
And then as you go south from there, you hit Saint Albert. And then as you keep going eastward, then you're going into like Saint-Isidore, you're going into Saint-Bernardin, you're going into Riceville. Like, these are all smaller towns.
That's it.
So the major, I'll say the population hub is, because it's proximity to the city of Ottawa. People tend to work here in Ottawa, so the closer they are, the better. So that's why, like, Limoges is an up and coming village. It's actually it's a town, but it's going to be a small city soon.
Yeah, we're talking about quite a lot of expansion
there. Yes.
I live in the Limoges area, and it's been 3 years now, and 4 years, sorry, and the shift between those 4 years is drastic, and I can even imagine, like, within the next 10 years what we could see coming there.
Like I said, if everything goes as planned and the market stays the way it is, and things are we continue to get funding from other levels of government for our infrastructure, I can see that village probably doubling in the next 7 years.
Wow.
And maybe tripling going down 20 years because of the fact the amount of units, housing units and subdivisions that are going in and the demand. So
I guess we could expect a commercial to follow suit as well then.
Yes, you better believe it. So
hopefully.
You got it. Because again, it's been a conversation since I've been a councillor, and even more now as mayor. There's, I'll say, the commercial retail side of things. People are like, wow, like, why do we have to go to Ambrun? Why do we have to go to Castleman? And I'll say that because my excuse to that, or it's not necessarily an excuse, but the reasoning behind that is because they did it first. And essentially, like, they came, like, there was families and people that business people that started earlier in the game, and then basically as that happens, when you talk to grocery stores and we talk to different, I'll say, like, different fast food chains, well, they look at population and then they go, okay, well, let's look at a 5 kilometer radius, a 10 kilometer radius, a 20 kilometer radius. and they're not going to cut their own business, you know. So if there's 2 grocery stores in Emblem, there's 2 in Casselman. Well, what's the radius where we won't be taken away from our own business? So
For sure.
we've had, and I continue to have conversations, multiple. We're always updating these chains. And I'll tell you one thing: the conversation and the approach is changing a lot because they're seeing the growth that we are having in town in Limoges, for example, and they see that, okay, there's wisdom into maybe getting into this market sooner rather than later, because as they continue to grow, the prices are not going down; they're just going to go up.
That's it, exactly.
So again, it's something that it's interesting to be part of that. But with that being said, and this is one thing that I've spoken to many residents about, and they turn to the municipality like it's our responsibility to have a grocery store. But I tell them, like, does the city of Ottawa own an IGA or a Tim Hortons or any? Like, it's really the business people and the landowners of where that zoned land is that make that stuff happen. We simply, our role is to zone it properly, give them the facts of what growth is, show them the wisdom, you know, try to influence why they should come. But after that, ultimately, it's their decision, because we don't build buildings. We don't own grocery stores. We can only encourage and zone it properly, and then at that point, either the grocery store chains or whatever, the restaurants, or they ultimately make those decisions.
I'm pretty sure the investors will come as well, and like meaning the commercial investors. We're seeing like a lot of the money I tends to be coming east right now. We saw a lot of expansion coming west of Ottawa. You know, the Barhaven area, Canada, those areas. But I feel like we're seeing like the pendulum kind of swing on the eastern end. It's a little bit more approachable market as well. It's a little bit more affordable for now. Right. So we'll see how it treats us in the future.
Right.
But you know, talking about excitement developments such as this, do you have any other investments or developments that you foresee in the next coming years?
Absolutely. So this is actually very exciting for me to talk about, because this is something that I take to heart, because again, it's my municipality, and I've always had the philosophy that if you're stagnant, if you're kind of standing still and you're not growing, well, you're actually taking steps back, right? So because costs are continue to go up and inflation continues to happen. And as a municipality, if you're stagnant as far as growth happens, well, then it's just going to cost more per resident that live in that municipality. So growth for me has always been my number one push. It's always been the number one thing that I've been advocating towards staff. And they've responded really well to I'll say, my ambitions as far as growth happens. Now, with that being said, there's a lot of housing. And like I said, you're from the area, you see it. If everything goes well, you know, we're talking probably 200 to 250 housing units per year, possibly more.
In the municipality as a whole?
In the municipality as a whole, and of that, 220 of them are probably in the town of Limoges alone.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow.
So again,
I guess that's where you're able to give out permits the most, or what would be the reason?
Well, because again, the province, whenever it came out with their new policy, it's really high densification of land use. And whenever you're within the town boundaries and you have water and sewer available, then you can densify your land.
That's it.
So again, if you look at I'll say what's affordable for many young families, or even, you know, and again, you're a real estate agent. You kind of see where, well, I think Limoges hits a sweet spot as far as the cost, because again, you can get into a townhouse probably for the low 500s now, 525 area.
Yeah, pretty much. And today we have like big incentives for new builds as well, which kind of lowers that price with the HST rebate that we're seeing at the moment. So that's very interesting. The other thing that I think is a selling feature is how the proximity of Ottawa.
Well, yeah.
You're right along the 417, a 2-lane highway to reach the big center where most likely you'll be working at if you're coming to this municipality to live.
And myself, like I live about 5 minutes from the 417 exit south. It's a little, I call it a little club of homes called Forest Park. And within 5 minutes, I'm on the 417, then within 20 minutes, I'm in the city of Ottawa.
Really nice.
So we have the best of both worlds, if you ask me. We have the lower cost of not having like the city prices, and we have the small town feel with space. But if we choose to go tap into those amenities, like again, shopping malls, sporting events, all these I'll call it the big city draws. 20 minutes we're there.
That's it.
So again, I think it's the best of both worlds.
For sure, for sure. That's definitely attracting a lot of first-time home buyers. From my experience being a realtor in the market, it's also attracting a lot of investors. We're seeing a lot of inventory right now on the market as
Yep.
far as rentals go.
Yep.
So like fourplexes, duplexes, basement units, upper level units. We're seeing quite a lot of inventory in the Limoges area at the moment. So, if investors are pouring money inside of that municipality, it normally foreshadows that there's going to be a lot of expansion.
I agree, and
That's
it's
really fun to see.
like I'm just talking housing, but like I'll get into now like in Limoges as well. Like was it going about 3 years ago? We started a commercial industrial park just out on the other side of Calypso.
Yes.
So the initial phase was I think it was about the numbers escape me, but I'll say it's about 50 to 55 acres of land, and we sold out within 6 months. Once we developed it, we subdivided it. We sold every parcel of land within 6 months, and we really found a niche of businesses and of commercial developers and so on that want low cost, very low development fees, no water and sewers right now. They're looking for obviously natural gas, but we're working on that as well. So that was such a success that we decided that we had to kind of move our plan forward a little bit, in which is a positive thing. So now we have 200 acres of land beside the original 60. And this summer we're actually putting in the roads, we're subdividing it, and we're actually selling
Great.
some more land. And
If
we
you need a representative,
Well-
you know who to call.
what's nice, we already have a list of 28 people that want to buy land.
Oh, that's great.
So
that's
we're
a good position to be in, for sure.
so we're actually in a position now where we may even double, and depending on again, it's early conversations, but the size of the some of the lots, because we're attracting some big businesses.
Yes.
So
All that development that's going on, like you need to have like developers, people that can flatten some trees down,
Yeah.
people that can develop the land, put the infrastructure.
We are doing that ourselves.
Okay.
So with our own proper forces, as far as our manpower, our equipment, we are literally selling a piece of land that is ready to go, and we're, like I said, our goal is to sell it cheap enough so that we are drawing some good businesses into the municipality, because in the end, our goal is to create perpetual taxes. So we're not necessarily hoping to make a big buck on the land itself. It's once the building is up it continuously generates taxes.
Exactly, because they're established. Like these are big businesses, big warehouses or storages they will build. So yeah, for sure. Yeah, I know quite a few of them for sure.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you as well. Like the way and again, my philosophy, and it's my approach, and I think it's not just my approach, but staff's approach and council's approach. We're trying to create ecosystems of people that can work in our municipality, that live there, can grow and raise a family. They can do they can again work, live, do their recreation. Everything can be done within our municipality. We're trying to create these ecosystems.
I like that.
And again, it's a philosophy, and like I said, staff has been really good at that. I'll be honest with you, because being the size that we are, and we've always had this philosophy since I've been there, to do more with less, because just the sheer size and what we have as far as infrastructure, we have to always do more with less. Like we have to figure out a better way to do our roads,
For sure.
to make sure that we offer a good service. So again, the internal, like our roads department is phenomenal. We have highly trained individuals that operate. Like the guys will be on the shovel, and then they'll jump on the backhoe, and then after they'll get in the truck, and they really. We're lucky to have that kind of manpower and skill on staff, because when I look at other municipalities in our area, they can't match that, right? And thank God for that, because if we had to subcontract a lot of those, what I call them the capital projects that we take on ourselves, changing culverts and changing, doing, we don't touch bridges, but a lot of the work that has to get done, we do it on our own, and it probably comes in at almost half or not quite half. But if we were to subcontract that, then the taxpayer would just pay that much more. So we're quite lucky to have that skill on staff. And I'll even take it a step further. Like our water and sewer department, it's phenomenal. Like the licenses and the skill and the knowledge that we have.
I've seen how quickly you get that done. I mean, I live in Limoges, and it's very snappy, very quick for sure. The expansion is. I haven't seen that elsewhere as quick as that. That's for sure.
And again, it's our culture. Honestly, we've had this culture since I've been this is my 12th year with the municipality, and if we had a culture of look, we'll wait till and it breaks and we'll just subcontract it out, or we'll wait till and we'll just subcontract it out, we would be hitting walls rather quickly. And I'm very grateful to the staff for that culture, because again, if it's not for that, there's a lot of things, what I call the nice to haves, like libraries and calls and recreation stuff. Like these are all things that you have to offer, but they're nice to haves, because in the end, there's a baseline of services and things that you have to have. And fire department's one of them. Roads are one of them.
For sure.
Like those things. Like I said, they're must-haves that you have to offer.
Yeah, you need to have a solid foundation to be able to build a house upon it.
You got it. So, and then there's the nice-to-haves. Like I said, our libraries, and like I said, those are things that we love offering and we want to continue to offer. But at a certain point, you look at costs, and then at a certain point, you got to where we cut.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the industrial park, like you mentioned, will help the tax income, and I think it'll also help the municipality to be able to, well, not the municipality itself, but businesses coming our way means more jobs in the area, like you mentioned, which is very interesting. That's what we like to hear. Yeah. I want for the English viewers out here so we can cover a little bit more subjects.
Sure,
I'll ask a few questions if we can keep the answers decently brief.
I have a tendency of talking too much.
That's
it's the teacher in me.
There we go. So, we've talked a little bit about it, but what's the big picture vision for the municipality 10 years from now?
And again, we did touch briefly on it. It's really growth. Like I said, we want to create ecosystems where, and again, if you've been part of or seen the municipality, the conversation thus far has been really about, I'll say the western part where there's a lot of housing, a lot of commercial development. But as you go eastward, then you're getting into the agricultural business, and there's a lot of chicken farmers. There's a lot of agricultural business that's taking off, and we're seeing growth in those facets. It's immense.
There we go.
So again, we're seeing the best of both worlds when it comes to growth. Our chicken farmers, like I said, it's unreal the investments they've had that they've chosen to make. You're seeing, you're seeing these farmers taking on, a $6 million expansion of a new barn to house 40,000 new chickens.
Yeah.
And it's these people are really making, and again, I keep using the word ecosystem, but they're really creating. They create a lot of work for the local construction workers.
It's a perpetual, it feeds itself.
Absolutely.
Right? That's what we like to see, a wheel that keeps on rolling forward.
Yeah, and then not many people know, but 18% of every egg that is consumed in Ontario comes from the Nation Municipality.
That's nice.
So when
I know of a few in the Saint-Isidore area.
Yeah, absolutely.
Quite big ones there.
So, and again, you got to look at it in the perspective of population. When you're saying the city of Toronto has got 6 million people, and our little municipality is providing 18% of the eggs that these people eat.
That's pretty cool.
It's the industry is thriving, and the industry it keeps the economic wheel rolling, because again, these farmers are buying tractors, they're buying feed, they're it's just and then you tack on the milk farmers as well that are in that in that industry or that I'll say that sphere, it's quite impressive what these how they're helping our local economy.
So with all that expansion and everything coming our way, how do we keep the small town feel, the small town rural feel that the residents love?
Yeah, and again, it's challenging, quite honestly, but again, it has to be done with a sustainable, long range plan. You can grow really, really fast, and in the end, you lose a little bit of what made you attractive in the first place. So I think it's long term planning, long range, making sure that as we grow, that we circle back, say, okay, is this what we want? This is how we're going forward. Again, I'll talk about urban growth now, specifically Limoges. Like, there's lots of pressures for us to just keep going and keep pumping out houses. And there is, because again, the demand is there, and we talked about it, right? Like, it's hitting a sweet spot where it's just affordable enough, not that far out of Ottawa.
Yeah.
And again, you have a municipality that's encouraging, that we're very welcoming to developers. We're very, we make sure that there's a partnership that keeps going and we don't want to get in the way. And for us, like I said, we provide, we set the table, and then they go. So us, like I said, we've been working on the water from Rockland. That's something that we tapped into Rockland, the source for our water, about 3 years ago. And this summer coming, they're actually building up the capacity to give us more. So this is all things that we've been talking about for 5 years now, and we're starting to see the fruits of these discussions. And it's just setting the table for more growth. Mm-hmm. And now I'm not sure if Mr. Tarnowski spoke about it when he was here. We're also talking, like, we're running a partnership with Russell Township to have a wastewater mechanical plant being built to give us another 4,000 units of growth when it comes to the wastewater side of things. So we're setting the table. I think we're doing a very good job of it. And again, it's not, it doesn't happen overnight, these things. These plans have been in the works for 5 years now. We're starting to see the fruits of it. Yeah. And we just continue to plan and continue to grow. And we've got to develop partnerships with other municipalities, because where we are located, we're landlocked, right? The sources of our water is wells. Well, when we tapped into Rockland, all of a sudden we had the Ottawa River as our source of water, which is unlimited. Yeah. So now it's infrastructure. It's sizing pipes properly, making sure that we can house the amount of water that's needed.
But as it's piping and whatnot, you can only do it. You need to pick where you're bringing that pipe, right? You couldn't do it all the way to Saint Albert, all the way to this town, right, all the way to this town. So you've centered down on Limoges itself.
For now.
I feel like that's what pretty much every municipality in the Prescott-Russell is doing, is they've centered down on one, place that they're making more urban. For example, like Clarence Rockland, it's going to be Rockland itself. And then the Russell Township, it would be more so like Embrun, that's kind of ever expanding at the moment.
Well, I got to give it to them. The town of Russell is also growing.
They're doing quite well for sure. Yeah. It's good to see. Good to see. So
it's regional. I think we had a brief discussion a little bit about how growth is coming eastward. Well, we're seeing the pressures of that.
Yes.
And again, it's a good problem to have, but it is, like I said, sometimes trying to circle back to the original question, which is trying to keep that small town feel. We're doing the best we can, but again, urban growth and urban sprawl, it happens sometimes despite what as much as you're trying to keep a lid on it. I'm not sure we really want to, number one, but to do it with a sustainable vision in mind as far as certain things. And again, that's where, you properly plan, like a bike path. You make sure there's a lot of green spaces. All these things come into play whenever the discussions are being had. But again, that's why we pay an urban planner, and council gives their vision, and basically he puts it he enacts it. And I got to give it to the guy. He's wonderful. He's been really good. developing our vision. And
Yeah, for sure. That would be Guylain Laflèche.
that is
Isn't it?
correct.
Yeah, I've exchanged with that guy quite a few times, and
Yeah.
he's great. He's
Yeah.
really great, very charismatic, and he deeply cares about what will be coming inside of the municipality. I think he's in a great position.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's like myself. He's got the Nation Municipality tattooed on his heart.
Yeah,
and
that's it.
And like
That's
I
what
said,
we want. If
yeah,
you're working for the municipality, like you gotta hold it dearly close to your heart, like you said. Let's move on to another
Yep.
question here. I want to ask you, and then we'll move on to the signature questions and
Sure.
flip to the French
Yeah, for
version.
sure.
So, what are some of the biggest challenges right now for the Nation
Well,
Municipality?
again, circling back to what I said, it's infrastructure. Whenever all these pipes that are in the ground that are needed for water, by the time it's full build out, which could be in about 15 to 20 years, we're talking 30 to 33 million dollars in today's money.
Yeah.
So that's a lot for a small municipality like ourselves. Then you go into the wastewater and that mechanical plant. Well, it's a shared cost with our neighbors, but full total build out, that's $90 million.
Yeah, it's quite expensive
That's
for sure. Where
that's
do
a
you
lot
find
of
the money for
yeah.
that,
So again, the challenges are that for growth. Now let's circle back to roads. Like I was saying earlier, like you could take from here to Toronto and use a Nation Municipality road the whole way without getting off. Those roads cost a lot of money to maintain. I'll tell you, I stay up a lot of times at night thinking of like, okay, if this bridge breaks, what do we do? Because we don't have the money.
Yeah.
And people need to use that bridge, and they're not just going to fly over it. We don't have that technology yet. Yeah. So the mental real estate that our road network and it takes up a lot of space because I know costs keep going up. And they're exponentially going up faster than what we can expect the taxpayer to pay.
Yeah.
So where does that money come from? So those are all challenges that we face, and staff have been really good to come up with ways. And again, the asset management plan that we adopted a year and a half ago, the financial plan that we adopted along with it. So it kind of does tackle long-term financial sustainability of our assets. But again, when you see costs jumping, people don't think of this, but if you look at the price of diesel today, what is it, over $2 a liter or something? Well, whenever that jumps 10 cents a liter, well, that has a direct impact on our overhead.
For sure.
Because you got your dump trucks, you got the dump trucks, all the vehicles, all that kind of stuff. Well, we can't turn around and just say, okay, we're going to give a fuel surcharge to the resident.
Yeah,
that's not how it works.
That would not.
It doesn't work that way.
Be it for sure. Yeah.
So, like our every year budget time comes out, we have a fixed budget that we know how much money we're taking in. But whenever you see blips in costs go up and down that are unforeseen, well, those things worry us because obviously we can't be like the provincial and federal government. We can't run a deficit. Mm-hmm. We can't say, well, we're going to purposely just go in debt for this. We can't. We have to have a balanced budget.
Issue your own currency.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the biggest issues with the rising costs is the amount of currency that's being added inside of our Canadian system. I think it's overinflating compared to the income that we're able to make.
Well, and the thing is that the thing is when budget is adopted, that's our fixed income. Like we can't, like, property taxes don't fluctuate. It's not a percentage of a sales tax.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like when you buy a bottle of water and it's $1, well, you can say, okay, well, we're going to take 13 cents out of that dollar.
Yeah.
But if it goes up to $2, well, guess what? The government is collecting now 26 cents because it's a percentage of the cost of whatever the good is being sold or the service. Municipalities don't work that way. We fixed our budget at the budget time, knowing that, okay, the taxes are going to be this, and we have to play within that envelope. So whenever we see, diesel and things that rise in costs of capital projects going through the roof, it worries us because, again, we're on a fixed income and some of our expenses are not fixed. So we're often playing the shell game, moving things around, maybe canceling a capital project, maybe spending a little less on this. Employees have to do more. So we play that a lot at the Nation Municipality because again,
Must be a lot of deck chairs, switching
you
seats
got it.
and trying to
You-
place that money here, place that money there.
You got it. And we've been creative over the years, but at a certain point, there's only so much you can do, and then
I think in such an inflationary environment, I feel like, and it's easier said than done, but I feel like municipalities and even like just countries overall, with this system here that we have, ever expanding money supply, I feel like the governments and municipalities will need to invest in assets in order to kind of outperform that inflation. Ideally, that's the ideal scenario, and
Right.
it's easier said than done. But I think that would be the grand solution. That'd be amazing. Or some kind of asset that you can't issue more of it. Like
Right.
you must have a cap set amount, so you can't be inflated out of it. But talking about assets, let's move on
Right.
to the signature question of
Sure.
the podcast. I wanted to ask you, what is your most prized asset?
well, other than my family and my dog, because when you posed me that question a little bit before, I was like, well, you know what? I got to thinking about it. I think it's the relationships I've developed throughout the years, either through my teaching career and or my political career. I've got to meet some great people. I've got to have conversations that really I'll say shaped and formed my philosophies and my way of thinking going forward. And it's been a real pleasure, I'll say, getting to know staff, getting to know other councillors, other mayors as well. Now that I'm at the mayor level, getting to learn a little bit of how they operate and how they do it in their municipality.
Yeah, that's very valuable. Getting insights from other professionals is
You got
indispensable.
it. Yeah, and then going to conferences and talking to mayors from Hearst and from Northern Ontario and then from Southern Ontario, and then just getting their feedback and then taking those ideas back and saying, you know what, I had a conversation with this gentleman, and they're doing this. Do you think that we could adopt that here? And then it sparks a conversation, and it's
Start connecting all the dots.
you
Right?
you got it. So
There we go.
I'll tell you that's things I value a lot because it's brought back. It brings back some good feel. Like it doesn't always feel good being mayor because sometimes you got to make decisions that you're going to have some winners and you're going to have some losers. And at the heart of me, I don't want to disappoint anybody, and I don't want anybody to feel ill will towards me but that's part of the gig. We sign up for this. So with that being said, though, that's not what I hang on to. I've learned that sometimes that's just the way it has to be, because again, you look at the greater good, and that's kind of decisions are not made lightly. But again, I'll tell you, my philosophy, the way I look at it is that what's the greater good here? What's going to have the most positive impact for the most people? And that's kind of what guides
That's the
me.
mindset that we'd like a mayor to have.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
for sure.
Yeah. So
Here's the second signature question of the podcast, and then we'll pivot to the French.
Sure.
I don't want to upset every viewer out there.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if you could go back and tell something to your younger self, what would that be?
that it's going to be okay, because again, I talked about sometimes the mental real estate that a tough decision it takes. Like I carry it, I go home, I lose sleep over it. And if you would have talked to me 3 years ago, that really weighed heavy on me, because again, sometimes you have a decision that you have to make, and sometimes it's things that are imposed on you that you're kind of the messenger. So those things, like I said, it was heavy, but to tell myself that, look, it's a passing cloud. It's heavy now. It's not always going to be that way.
The
And
stresses, they come and go.
oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
And
the
again,
day to day is volatile, but
Right.
what counts is that ideally we're going upwards.
Yeah,
That's that trajectory that we're trying to keep.
yeah, and again, like the emotions of I'll call it residents, and of the emotions of the wins and the emotions of the losses. Well, my role is to be the anchor that kind of keeps everything steady in the middle, and to do that, it takes a lot of discipline. It takes a lot of like, okay, this is a really good thing. I can't get too excited, because there's other things that are not fun or not pleasant that are coming. So you can't ride that wave too much. You gotta try to be the stability for staff, and you have to be the stability for the residents, and you have to be. And again, because when I go home, it's the same thing when you're raising a family. You got to be the rock that keeps things grounded. And again, role as mayor, as a leader, you have to be disciplined, and you have to that's your approach going forward. So that's kind of that's what I would tell myself, that it's going to be okay. It's the end of the world is not coming, and then when things are good, well, this is not going to also be sustainable always. And just
totally agree. We get so caught up in the day to day, but in the end, it's that we're still going upwards. We want to
absolutely
keep a positive trajectory, and everything will pan out in the end.
You got it.
Quick shout out. If you are looking into buying, selling, or renting a property, whether that's residential or commercial, I'm your guy as a licensed realtor. I've helped tons of people navigate the market smoothly with my business, the Asset Ambitions Group. Or if your family, friends, anyone in your sphere is in need, refer them my way. I'd really appreciate it. Reach out via contact in the description or the one you see on the screen now. Disclosure, this is my own real estate business. Mathieu Jacques, Asset Ambitions Group. Get in touch. Donc maintenant, on va pivoter dans la version française de l'épisode. On a environ 20 minutes, là, donc on s'est imposé un peu sur le temps.
Je m'excuse, comme j'ai dit, j'ai une tendance de trop parler. C'est un peu le prof dans moi.
Fait que si on est capable de garder ça un petit peu bref pour les réponses, j'aimerais ça passer le plus de questions possible pour l'audience française. Donc, tu sais, rapidement, qu'est-ce qui t'a inspiré à devenir le maire du township?
Ben moi, je vais te dire, là, ça a commencé très jeune. J'ai été élevé dans un magasin, puis un chip stand, puis il y avait du va-et-vient à tous les jours du monde qui rentrait du village. Je venais jaser avec mon père, avec ma mère. Puis eux autres étaient impliqués aussi dans bien des choses communautaires. Ils étaient impliqués dans une variété de choses. Mon père était un chevalier de colon. Ma mère a aidé à organiser le carnaval. Donc, j'ai vu ça très jeune, que l'implication communautaire, c'était quelque chose que les gens valorisent, puis que moi, c'est les valeurs que j'ai été élevé avec. Donc, c'est quelque chose que quand j'ai eu ma famille jeune, je me suis impliqué dans le coaching de hockey, puis toutes ces choses-là. Et donc, il y avait, il y a 12 ans, un petit groupe de Limoges dans le temps, ils m'ont approché, ils ont dit « Tu penserais-tu d'être conseiller? » Puis j'ai dit « Ah, je n'étais pas certain, parce que je connaissais beaucoup dans la politique. » Puis je me suis dit « Ah, on m'a essayé. » Puis j'ai venu à bout de gagner l'élection. Et après ça, j'ai tombé en amour avec juste les interactions avec les gens. Qu'est-ce que l'impact que tu peux avoir positif sur ta communauté? Donc, c'est toutes des choses que ça évolue à travers le temps. Et maintenant, comme maire, l'évolution est, comme je dis, l'impact personnel pour moi. Je grandis à toutes les fois, j'en apprends beaucoup.
Ah oui.
Je viens à bout de rencontrer beaucoup de gens. Donc, pour moi, c'est quelque chose que je vais vouloir continuer pour bien des années à venir.
Ah ben good, on aime ça entendre ça. Ouais, non, ça a vraiment l'air à remplir l'âme, là, ce travail-là. Là. C'est vraiment, ça implique une grosse population.
Sûrement.
Puis l'impact que tu es capable d'avoir peut être positif, en gros, pour une population.
Absolument.
Comme elle peut l'être négatif, mais ça a l'air à très, très bien aller, la nation.
Ben, jusqu'à date,
donc,
oui.
En parlant de comment que ça va bien, quels sont des projets que tu trouves intéressants ou des investissements qui s'en viennent dans le coin que tu vois venir là, dans l'avenir?
Quand on parle comme on voit beaucoup d'investissements, on a dépensé, on a investi beaucoup d'argent dans l'eau puis les sourds dernièrement dans le village de Limoges. Et maintenant, on voit les fruits de ça. Il y a beaucoup de maisons, il y a beaucoup je vais dire, il y a beaucoup de croissance résidentielle. Donc, ça, c'est quelque chose que je vois qu'il y a un impact qui va avoir lieu cet été, puis ça va continuer si le marché est bon. Nous autres, on peut offrir quelque chose que beaucoup d'autres places ne peuvent pas, en fait, de proximité de la ville, avec les coûts qui sont assez abordables versus acheter une maison à Ottawa. Nous autres, on a le meilleur des deux mondes, dans le sens que c'est encore abordable, puis tu n'es pas trop loin de la ville. Donc, c'est quelque chose qui m'excite aussi, en fait, ça. Sur le côté commercial industriel, on a un parc industriel qui est encore juste l'autre bord du parc aquatique de Calypso, qu'on a commencé il y a 3 ans. Puis là, on est en pleine expansion. On a développé le premier 60 acres. Là, on a 200 acres à développer. Donc, on est dans le milieu de phase 2. Et la demande est tellement haute, on pense de peut-être faire phase 3 en même temps. Parce
Hey,
que,
wow,
ouais.
OK.
Donc, c'est quelque chose
Mais c'est
que...
bon, ça, ce qu'il y a de la demande comme ça, parce que justement, un parc industriel, ça veut dire des entreprises qui font son chemin, puis des entreprises qui font son chemin, ça veut dire des emplois qui font son chemin pour la population. Fait
Justement
qu'on
ça.
on aime ça entendre ça.
Ben, puis quand je vais utiliser, ben, quand tu crées un écosystème dans le sens que les gens peuvent vivre dans ta municipalité, peuvent travailler dans ta municipalité, peuvent élever leur famille dans ta municipalité, peuvent faire les loisirs, les récréations, peuvent aller chercher des services médicaux, tout dans ta municipalité.
Ouais.
Bon, ben ça, c'est quelque chose que moi, c'est du début, c'était ma philosophie de vraiment notre croissance, qu'on essaie de créer des écosystèmes.
For sure.
Puis là,
Ça devient une communauté, tu sais,
c'est justement ça.
commun, là, tu sais,
Oui.
c'est une communauté qu'on se connaît, les façons familières.
C'est ça. Puis, veut pas, les valeurs sont aussi en commun. Donc, j'ai beaucoup de gens. Moi, ça fait, comme j'ai dit, ça fait 20 ans que j'habite à Limoges, mais j'ai été élevé dans la région. Puis, les valeurs sont communes. Veut pas, on aime les sports, on aime ça être dehors, on veut avoir un peu de terrain, on veut avoir de la place.
Il y a une raison pourquoi on est à l'aise de même, tu sais, on veut le petit small town feel rural, là, tu sais.
C'est justement ça.
Ouais.
Donc, c'est vraiment ça qu'on essaie de créer, puis veut pas, on bâtit sur ça. Et quand tu vas plus vers l'Est, c'est vraiment d'aider la communauté d'agriculture continuer leur croissance. Quand on voit les fermiers de volailles, les poules, c'est en pleine croissance. Puis c'est impressionnant l'argent qui est investi dans leur business. On voit des granges de 6 millions de dollars qui montent. On voit le quota qui est acheté, comme j'en cette semaine avec quelqu'un qui veut l'acheter de quota pour 30 000 pondeuses.
Wow.
C'est incroyable. C'est un investissement de au-dessus comme c'est 10 millions. Là.
Ouais.
Donc, il y a beaucoup, encore, l'écosystème n'est pas tout à fait pareil, mais eux autres, ils créent leur propre... Parce que ces fermiers-là, il faut qu'ils achètent des tracteurs, il faut qu'ils les fassent arranger, il faut que... Donc, c'est tout ça...
Ils consomment des entreprises dans le coin.
Exactement ça. Donc, c'est impressionnant de voir comment ça évolue et comment que ça va continuer à évoluer. Donc, nous, à la municipalité, la Nation, notre rôle, c'est vraiment de créer un environnement qui encourage ça. Puis une fois que le momentum est parti, bon, ben c'est les entreprises puis les gens d'affaires qui vont vraiment partir avec ça puis y aller. Donc, nous autres, je trouve qu'on est très advenants. Puis on a du staff qui veulent vraiment que la croissance arrive, peu importe dans quel secteur, soit agriculture ou commercial, industriel ou résidentiel. C'est vraiment c'est vraiment impressionnant de voir ça parce qu'une municipalité qui est stagnante prend des pas par en arrière parce que l'inflation vient de ronger à toutes les années.
C'est ça.
Si tu n'as pas de croissance puis si tu n'as pas d'expansion de la base de taxes, tu continues à prendre des pas par en arrière.
C'est pas bon signe, oui.
C'est justement ça.
Ouais.
Donc, il y a beaucoup de résidents qui m'approchent et disent « Hey, ça grossit puis on n'aime pas ça. » Mais j'essaie de leur répondre aussi poliment que possible, mais si tu veux pas que les taxes continuent à monter avec le taux d'inflation, bon, ben c'est la croissance qui va aider avec ça.
C'est ça, c'est difficile, hein, cet équilibre-là, justement, mais ça, c'était ma prochaine question pour toi. C'est comment que tu gardes le feel rural dans ces petites communautés-là. Tu sais, tu veux plaire la population, que ça fait des années qu'ils habitent là, tu sais, puis c'est leur chez eux, puis c'est toutes des faces qui connaissent autour. Puis là, ben, veut pas, ça change la démographique de la municipalité, de qui y habite et toute cette expansion-là. Mais c'est comment tu gardes ce small town feel-là sans compenser justement sur le revenu.
Non, c'est ça. Puis c'est pas facile, je vais dire. Là. Puis comme j'ai dit, notre municipalité est tellement grande. La surface, puis comment en fait comment en gros que c'est. Je vais te dire, c'est quasiment comme gérer deux municipalités. On a bien des centres, comme on a un gros centre urbain, Limoges, puis après ça, tu as des petits villages, bien, j'appelle ça des petits villages, mais il y a des villages en croissance. Puis après ça, tu as vraiment des terrains agricoles. Donc, les besoins les personnes qui habitent dans les banlieues rurales, aussi qu'il y a beaucoup d'agriculture, ils n'ont pas les mêmes besoins, puis ils n'ont pas la même vision pour comment que la municipalité devrait être gérée versus les gens qui habitent à Limoges ou comme Saint-Albert aussi, c'est une place qui grossit beaucoup.
Ouais.
Puis si tout va bien, Saint-Isidore, ça va être une place qu'il va avoir de la croissance aussi.
Une expansion là aussi,
Donc, c'est les gens qui habitent dans les villages ou dans les centres urbains n'ont pas les mêmes besoins. Puis quand tu jases aux gens de l'Est, eux autres, c'est les chemins qui sont très importants. Les services de base, très importants. Tu jases à quelqu'un, un résident qui est nouveau venu à Limoges, on va dire en 5 ans. Il ne comprend pas comment gros c'est Limoges, mais les autres, ils veulent avoir de la récréation.
Mm-hmm.
Ils veulent avoir des services qui...
Ils veulent avoir leur épicerie, là.
C'est justement ça. Toutes ces choses-là, ils veulent l'avoir pas loin de chez eux.
C'est difficile de faire cet équilibre-là.
C'est justement ça, parce que encore là, quand tu lui dis, on a au-dessus de 550 km de chemin. Les autres, ils ont de la misère à envisager ça. Donc, j'essaie de leur donner un visuel. Je dis, si tu pars de Limoges et tu quittes Limoges et tu t'en vas à Toronto, tu peux te rendre à Toronto sur tous des chemins de la nation. Donc, ça te donne un peu de visuel. Donc, on a 550 chemins, mais quand tu dis, les fossés, tu as au-dessus de 1000 km de fossés à faire, d'entretenir, faire certain que ça fonctionne, qu'ils sont bien faits. Donc, on a bien du pain sur la planche.
Ça, c'est un casse-tête par soi-même.
C'est ça, justement. Puis là, il y a des calvrettes, les ponts, toutes les infrastructures qui viennent avec ça. Donc, c'est quelque chose que, pour nous, c'est un grand challenge, mais le staff qu'on a en place présentement sont excellents. Ils comprennent la vision. Puis, je vous dis, là, on est chanceux de les avoir.
Bien, merveilleux. On aime ça entendre ça. Là. Ça en prend du staff qui sont impliqués, qui veulent vraiment prendre part dans cette grosse organisation-là parce qu'avec toute l'expansion, là, ça prend une vision en commun. On ne peut pas avoir des gens qui travaillent puis qui ne sont pas impliqués puis qui n'ont pas la même vision. Là.
Sûrement.
C'est le fun d'avoir l'input de tout le monde, bien sûr, mais si c'est en commun, là, théoriquement, le chemin devrait se créer pas mal plus que ce qu'on essaie de dériver. Là.
Puis on a une culture de faire plus avec moins. Donc, on frappe des murs, veut pas, il va y avoir des temps, on n'a pas obligé, il faut faire la dépense, mais la culture, comme j'ai dit à la Nation, qu'on a depuis que je suis là, ça fait 12 ans, c'est d'en faire le plus avec le moins possible. Puis c'est grâce à cette culture-là qu'on vient au bout d'arriver avec ce qu'on a présentement. Là.
Ben good.
Ouais.
Parle-nous donc, est-ce qu'il y a des événements ou des choses qui se passent là, cet été dans la municipalité qui seraient intéressants pour les résidents?
Bien, il y a toujours les mêmes festivals, je vais dire, que ces choses-là, comme il y a Canada Day, le jour du Canada à Limoges. Il y avait le festival du canard à Saint-Isidore. Il y a Riceville Fair. Il y a bien des festivals comme ça qui se passent. Mais je vais dire aussi, Calypso fait en sorte qu'il y a beaucoup du va-et-vient dans notre municipalité.
Ah oui.
Ça attire, je vais dire, entre 225 à 250 000 personnes par été.
Hey,
Donc,
des gros chiffres,
c'est des gros chiffres. Je vais dire, c'est l'attraction le plus utilisée dans la région, puis on est chanceux de l'avoir chez nous. Donc, ça, c'est toutes des choses qui font en sorte qu'il y a beaucoup de va-et-vient à la municipalité. Je vais dire, quand on regarde régionalement, Prescott-Russell, on essaie aussi de développer comme le vin, tout comme du wine tasting, tout comme nos
fait qu'il y a des champs de raisins.
Oui, il y en a, mais aussi comme il y a toutes sortes des apple cider.
Ça peut être des attractions très intéressantes pour des gens qui habitent à Ottawa, disons.
C'est justement ça.
On se dirige vers là.
Puis on essaie aussi de promouvoir comme le vélo qui est dans la forêt à la Rose aussi. C'est quelque chose que l'écotourisme, là, on voit beaucoup. Il y a beaucoup d'expansion de ça. Ouais. Puis nous autres, on est direct dans le cœur de ça.
C'est ça. On est tellement connectés en ligne aujourd'hui là, qu'aller déconnecter dans la forêt, là, ça fait du bien. Moi aussi, j'y vais des fois à la forêt à la Rose. Puis c'est incroyable, hein, toutes les pistes qui sont faites là. Des pistes cyclables, des pistes de marche, des pistes de cheval même.
Absolument.
Il y a tout, là, du ski.
L'hiver, tu as le fat bike.
La raquette.
C'est ça, en raquette. Tu as du ski cross-country. Tu as même les chiens. Tu as vraiment quelque chose qui est très important. Puis ça l'amène des gens d'en dehors. Fait qu'eux autres, quand ils passent puis ils ont besoin du gaz, ils arrêtent. Puis ils dépensent leur argent chez nous. Fait que c'est toutes ces attractions-là qu'on essaie de développer puis continuer à mettre l'emphase sur ça parce que veut pas, il y a beaucoup, comme j'ai mentionné, Calypso. C'est pas tout le monde de la nation qui va là à 250 000 personnes.
Ah non, c'est
Fait
ça.
que c'est de l'argent dehors qui viennent dépenser chez nous. Puis ça fait en sorte qu'il y a beaucoup de va-et-vient. Puis c'est ça qu'on essaie de créer, ces choses-là. Mais ça prend du temps. Puis ça prend comme je dis, c'est des hommes d'affaires, des entreprises qui doivent croire à leurs produits puis à ce que, en fait, la municipalité, comment on peut les supporter. Et une fois que c'est parti, on les encourage, mais c'est vraiment quelque chose que je vois. Puis quand tu fais partie de ça, c'est impressionnant de voir le potentiel qu'on a. Puis on va continuer à développer. Fait que pour ça, là, c'est impressionnant.
Et qu'il y en a du terrain dans le coin.
Mm-hmm.
Puis, c'est plus abordable. C'est à proximité d'Ottawa. Tu sais, tu regardes la vision long terme, 10 ans d'ici, combien de gens vont travailler de la maison? Beaucoup plus. Est-ce que tu veux vivre dans une place un petit peu plus rurale? Tu sais, t'as la forêt à la rose à proximité, t'as le parc d'eau à la proximité. Tu sais, c'est comme... Je pense que le monde va vraiment changer là, avec toute la digitalisation. Puis aussi, idéalement, à un certain point, je pense qu'il va y avoir des robots qui vont automatiser beaucoup des services qui peuvent être automatisés, là, ou des productions de biens, puis des choses comme ça. Fait que veux pas... Je me sens comme s'il y a des gens qui vont juste se diriger vers l'Est en se disant, regarde, j'ai plus besoin d'aller aussi souvent à Ottawa pour le travail. J'ai tout ce que j'ai besoin dans le coin.
On
veut devenir un aimant de même.
C'est sûrement. L'exemple parfait de ça, c'est le COVID. Durant le COVID, les gens, je ne sais pas comment de monde que j'ai rencontré qui viennent de Toronto, qu'ils ont vendu une petite boîte de condo à 1,5 million à Toronto, puis ils ont venu, puis ils ont acheté une maison 3 chambres avec une cour, puis une clôture, puis de la place, puis toutes sortes d'affaires pour la moitié du prix.
Ah, c'est bien vrai, ça.
Puis ils travaillent de la maison. Puis donc, on voit, il y a un gros chiffre dans ça. Donc, on est au cœur de ça parce qu'encore là, il n'y a pas grand place que tu peux t'acheter une maison à 600 000, avoir un terrain, avoir ta propre cour, une place pour avoir ton chien. Tes enfants peuvent courir dans ta cour à toi-même.
C'est dur à battre. C'est dur à battre, c'est clair.
C'est sûr. Donc,
fait que là, on va pivoter vers les 2 dernières questions du podcast. Il nous reste un petit 3 minutes. Est-ce qu'on peut garder ça bref?
Oui, sûrement.
Donc, les questions de signature du podcast. Si tu pourrais retourner dans le passé puis dire quelque chose là, à ton jeune toi, qu'est-ce que ça serait?
Ce serait que ça va être correct. Que l'émotionnel, quand il y a des hauts et des bas dans la vie politique, puis ton rôle comme politicien, puis surtout comme maire, c'est d'être l'encre, puis d'être la voix qui est stédée dans toutes ces choses-là. Parce que si tu te laisses emporter dans ces émotions-là, c'est pas un bon signe de leadership. Puis je vais dire qu'au début de ma carrière, je me laissais emporter dans toutes ces choses-là. Et c'est pas bon pour ta santé personnelle. Puis non seulement ça, c'est pas bon pour le staff. C'est pas bon pour tes résidents. Donc, ça, c'est quelque chose que je vais dire. Le temps m'a montré qu'il faut que tu sois stédé. Puis il faut que tu crois dans ton message. Puis qu'au bout de ligne, si tu crois vraiment à ce que tu fais, le positif va vraiment...
Un leader, il faut que ça soit solide. Puis justement, tu l'as dit, c'est cette confiance-là dans demeurer solide, c'est en ayant l'exposition. Tu sais, c'est en le faisant puis en réalisant comme, OK, ça se balance tout en bout de ligne. C'est là que tu l'apprends.
Oui.
Ah oui, j'ai vécu ça justement dans les dernières années. C'est très volatile, veux pas le marché immobilier. Puis tu sais, fait que je l'ai vécu aussi. Puis, mais ça se prouve time and time again, là, il faut faire confiance.
Oui, puis il faut que tu fasses confiance à les personnes autour de la table, les autres conseillers qui sont avec toi, parce qu'eux autres aussi ont des voix, eux autres aussi ont des pressions, eux autres aussi ils ont toutes les mêmes choses que moi comme maire. Donc, tu fais confiance avec ton conseil, puis aussi au staff. Je suis un prof d'école, je suis pas un contremaître de chemin. Fait que le gars qui dit que le chemin est fini, puis il faut qu'on le refaire, faut que je truste, c'est lui l'expert dans le domaine.
C'est ça.
Donc, faut que tu laisses...
Faut lâcher prise, là.
C'est ça.
C'est
vraiment...
en bonne main.
Exactement
ça. C'est en bonne main. Moi, je fais mon rôle.
Tout le monde a un rôle, puis eux autres, c'est les experts dans leur domaine, puis il faut que tu le trustes.
Dernière question. Quel est ton bien le plus précieux, que ça soit tangible, intangible?
Oui, bien, c'est ça que j'ai dit en façant, que c'est, à part que ma famille et mon chien, c'est les relations que j'ai développées à travers les années. J'ai fait bien des amis à travers ma vie politique, puis c'est quelque chose que je suis pas mal certain, une fois que ma vie politique vient à une fin, que ça va être avec des gens qu'on va passer du temps ensemble, on va continuer à se parler au téléphone. Parce que veut pas, il y a certains enjeux que ça prend quelqu'un de solide avec qui tu peux partager tes inquiétudes, toutes ces choses-là. Donc, ces gens-là, à travers les années, soit un résident, un employé ou d'autres conseillers, d'autres maires, c'est toutes des choses que, à travers les années, j'ai venu à un bout de développer. Et ça, je tiens je tiens ça à cœur parce que veux pas. Les gens que tu as un impact dessus, c'est ça l'important je vais dire, je vois ça comme prof. Quand tu as un impact sur un étudiant, puis il vient te voir 5 ans après, puis il dit « Hey, Monsieur Brière, comment ça va? » Juste te laisser savoir quand tu m'as fait ci, puis tu as dit ça, puis que ça a eu un impact, puis ça m'a dirigé dans la bonne ligne. Ça, c'est des choses là, que ça
On
vient
aime ça entendre
oui,
ça.
ça vient te chercher.
Ouais.
Même chose quand c'est un résident qui vient te voir. Peux-tu m'aider à chercher un docteur ou quelque chose comme ça? Bon, ben, c'est pas tout à fait mon rôle, mais j'essaie de les indiquer, j'essaie de le diriger dans la bonne direction. Puis quand ils reviennent te voir, ben, tu as eu un impact positif. C'est vraiment ça que je pense me tenir à cœur.
Good, je suis bien d'accord. Les relations, là, c'est indispensable. Les connexions qu'on fait à travers notre chemin professionnel, là, c'est nécessaire. Puis à un moment donné, on va penser, cette personne-là est capable de m'aider avec ça, puis voici ma personne clé là.
Absolument.
Mais regarde, Francis, un beau gros merci, Maire Francis Brière, d'être venu sur la Asset Ambitions podcast. C'est bien apprécié. On a eu plusieurs perspectives dans la municipalité, les expansions de la nation, les choses à venir. Ça a été très, très intéressant. Si vous avez aimé l'épisode, partagez, s'il vous plaît. Je suis sur Asset Ambition Podcast sur Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, toutes les autres plateformes, tous les médias sociaux. Fait que partagez si vous avez trouvé ça intéressant. Merci beaucoup d'avoir écouté, puis merci Francis.
C'est moi qui te remercie. C'était très plaisant. Merci.